In the headlines of VTV News, Vietnam ranks third globally in aquaculture export. Catholic communities prepare for Christmas in Central Highlands. And later on in our world news, South Korea prepared to proceed with impeachment trial.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News, broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Pham, and here's the top news of the hour. 2024 marks the second time Vietnamese seafood exports have reached the $10 billion benchmark. Despite challenges in market fluctuations, logistics and processing raw materials, Vietnam maintains its position as the world's third largest seafood exporter after China and Norway. This achievement contributes to Vietnam's record agricultural, forestry and fishery exports of $62 billion this year. Shrimp remains the leading export product, generating $4 billion, up 17%, followed by pangasius at $2 billion and tuna at $1 billion. With total seafood exports of approximately $10 billion, the country has seen a nearly 13% increase compared to last year. In addition to the US, China, Japan, and EU, Vietnam is expanding its seafood exports to halal and Middle Eastern markets. With nearly $1.08 billion, Long An leads the Mekong Delta in state budget collection for 2024. This figure surpasses both central and local estimates assigned for the year. As of December the 24th, Long An province has collected more than $1.075 billion, achieving 123% of the central estimate and over 121% of the local estimate. The province took early initiative by establishing a steering committee for state budget collection. The tax sector has strengthened its inspection processes and implemented digital platforms to prevent revenue loss effectively. The province also actively supports and removes obstacles to promote efficient execution. Building on these achievements, Long An aims to increase state budget revenue by approximately 12% in 2025 compared to 2024. Agricultural exports are expected to exceed $60 billion in 2024. Economists believe this figure could rise further if logistics costs decrease for this billion-dollar industry. Logistics costs currently account for 12% of the cost of seafood, 23% of the cost of wooden furniture, 29% of the cost of vegetables and fruits, and 30% of the cost of rice. Vietnam's logistics costs exceed those of its regional competitors, 6% higher than Thailand's, 12% higher than Malaysia's, and 300% higher than Singapore's. Due to tensions in the Red Sea, many of Vietnam's key agricultural exports to the European Union, Canada, and the US face challenges. These high logistics costs and extended delivery times are weakening Vietnam's competitive position. Although Vietnam faces challenges with high logistics costs, it holds significant potential for developing inland waterway transportation.
Since Long An International Port became operational, the transportation of goods in the Mekong Delta has become much more efficient, reducing reliance on traditional seaports such as Cat Lai, Hiệp Phước, and Thi Vai.
The location of the Long An International Port is very strategic, connecting Ho Chi Minh City, the Mekong Delta, and the southeastern provinces.
Hundreds of container ships will shuttle goods to provinces across the Mekong Delta, transferring cargo to seaports. This will drastically reduce logistics costs.
the Mekong Delta currently has 1 Class 1 seaport and 11 Class 2 seaports. The capacity of each port ranges from 3,000 to 20,000 tons of cargo.
Inland waterway transport reduces the burden on road traffic, particularly due to its lower freight rates.
We are able to transport goods to other provinces and even to Cambodia. Recently, we developed Ho River's port.
The modest export volume through seaports shows there is substantial room for investing in and developing waterway transportation in this key agricultural region.
The north-central coastal region serves as a key maritime gateway in Vietnam. It connects the east-west economic corridor with global shipping routes through major seaports and airports. By mid-December this year, the region achieved a growth rate exceeding 8.3%. This economic progress has been driven by institutional reforms to attract investment capital and accelerate public investment disbursement. More in the following.
The north-central province of Thanh Hoa is the construction site of a 14-kilometer road connecting National Highway 1 and National Highway 45. The project, which cost approximately $55,000.
The 1,042-meter-long bridge on this route is nearly finished. Our focus now is on accelerating project completion to ensure the route is operational by the Lunar New Year.
By November, over 76% of the province's public investment had been disbursed, surpassing the national average. Timely capital allocation allowed site clearance and payments to be processed.
The authorities focus on resolving project bottlenecks, particularly land-related issues, to achieve optimal disbursement outcomes in 2024.
Nha Trang province has also been a standout performer, achieving record-breaking results in public investment disbursement and foreign direct investment attraction, with $1.7 billion, the highest rate in the province's history.
To this point, the total investment of VTV Nha Trang and secondary investors has reached $3.1 billion. The province has implemented favorable policies and made efforts to improve infrastructure to facilitate investors.
The province is shifting from large-scale investment attraction to a more focused, collaborative approach. The province commits to 5 readiness factors and its goal of achieving double-digit growth.
The province aims to surpass $5 billion in total investment capital over the past 5 years by next year.
By leveraging and optimizing information technology in their production processes, agricultural cooperatives in Vietnam are seeing significant improvements in operation efficiency and product sales.
Phudo Safety Cooperative has implemented an advanced quality tracking system through the FaceFrame app. Customers can scan QR codes to view detailed information about their tea, including cultivation methods, care processes, timing, location, and procedures, all documented with images and videos.
Previously, all information about processing activities was manually recorded on paper, making it difficult for consumers to access. Now, with the digital platform, users can easily retrieve this information through a QR code.
The transparent availability of product information through digital platforms has increased the value of their products, leading to higher prices for dried tea buds.
Cooperative members have steadily embraced digital tools, regularly updating their information on the platform. This digital approach helps farmers better monitor and control product quality.
The Phudo Safety Cooperative won the King of Agricultural Digital Transformation Award in 2024 for its effective use of digital tools in production and business management. This recognition motivates the cooperative to further integrate information technology into its operations, improving product quality and expanding market reach.
The Center for Overseas Labor has announced the first recruitment of workers for the agricultural industry in Australia. Following the agreement between the governments of Vietnam and Australia, the first group of 30 workers will be hired to work in the meat processing sector. No administrative fees are required for participation in the program, and each worker will receive $300 Australian to cover the airfare from Vietnam to their workplace. For more details, please visit the website shown on the screen at collab.gov.vn. In 2024, Vietnam surpassed 200 million personal payment accounts, with cashless transactions increasing by more than 50%. New cashless payment models are emerging, making digital transactions more convenient for users.
Dong Sa Market Hanoi is now a smart, cashless 4.0 market. Even elderly vendors selling low-value items now have QR codes ready for cashless transactions. In the coming days, Wi-Fi will be installed throughout the market to further facilitate online payments for vendors.
At first, I was a bit confused. Now it's really convenient to use.
Cashless payments are convenient, and there's no need for change.
Thanks to the convenience of using smartphones to make purchases, the 4.0 market model has spread across multiple provinces in the country. Cashless commercial streets 4.0 is emerging, especially in tourist-heavy areas such as Hanoi, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, Lam Dong, Can Hoa, and Kiên Giang.
Since our street became cashless, about 90% of people prefer to pay via bank transfer.
New models like cashless parking lots, cashless school tuition payments, and AI-powered virtual assistants for online tax filing are also gaining popularity.
This cashless payment system enhances security and transparency while giving tax authorities better tools to monitor socioeconomic developments.
We must ensure the security by using multi-layered protection systems for smartphones.
In 2024, cashless transactions in Vietnam reached over 17 billion transactions, with a total value of approximately 11.5 billion USD, an increase of more than 120% compared to the previous year. This surge is contributing to the growth of the digital economy and digital society in Vietnam.
And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam dong is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, Catholic communities prepare for Christmas in Central Highlands. And Vietnam affirms its position on global tourism map. And welcome back to VTV News with other updated news. Now, a tropical depression near Vietnam's Spratly Islands has intensified into a storm named Pabuk. The storm is expected to weaken as it approaches the coastline between Phú Yên and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. Between 1 p.m. Tuesday and 1 p.m. Wednesday, the storm will move west-southwest at 5 to 10 kilometers per hour under the influence of a cold spell. As it nears the coastline from Phú Yên to Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu provinces, including Ho Chi Minh City, it is expected to weaken into a tropical depression. Maximum winds near the storm center are forecast to decrease to 39 to 61 kilometers per hour. The combined effects of the storm and a cold spell from the north will bring rain to central areas from Da Nang to Khánh Hòa, starting Monday night through Tuesday. Now, in response to Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính order to speed up the eradication of temporary and dilapidated houses nationwide, authorities in Kon Tum province have mobilized resources and assigned tasks to all localities and related departments. The province aims to complete the government's goal by the end of 2025.
Abon's family is now living in a new house. His family is no longer classified as a poor household.
I'm thankful for the government's support, which changes our lives completely. Now we have a new house to live in.
Each dilapidated house is replaced with the help of benefactors, local authorities, and financial support from the government and charitable organizations.
Darknet villagers have also joined in eradicating temporary and dilapidated houses. For example, they volunteer to construct new houses and donate building materials and food.
Thanks to strong determination and solidarity between local authorities and residents, more than 1,350 temporary and dilapidated houses have been rebuilt and upgraded in Kon Tum province this year.
This positive change reflects the Vietnamese people's strong solidarity and motivates people experiencing poverty to strive for a better life.
We will strictly adhere to the government's plan to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses and strive to meet the deadline before June 30th, 2025.
Kon Tum authorities aim to eliminate 50% of temporary and dilapidated houses across the province this year, which is the basis for meeting the government's deadline.
As Christmas draws near, Catholic communities in the Central Highlands eagerly prepare for their most important spiritual celebration of the year. The festive atmosphere fills all ethnic villages as parishioners decorate local churches and their houses to create a warm and cozy ambience for holiday gatherings.
Ple Groy Congregation, part of the Ple Rua High Parish in Kon Tum City, is the gathering place of more than 100 Banar parishioners. After a bountiful harvest, they start decorating bamboo poles, pine trees, and outdoor miniatures in the courtyards of the church and their houses.
Everyone is eagerly preparing for Christmas after a successful crop. Christmas is one of the most important holidays for Catholic communities.
Kon Tum Cathedral, a masterpiece of Catholic architecture in the Central Highlands, is decorated with vibrant colors. Thousands of parishioners and tourists gather here to celebrate Christmas Eve every year. Following this year's successful harvest and improved incomes, villagers are especially excited to welcome Christmas.
I'm very happy, as I had a good harvest with a larger quantity of produce to sell than I did in previous years. All the villagers are preparing for Christmas. On this occasion, we play gongs and perform shuang dances at the church.
As the sounds of gongs and drums resonate through the mountains and forests, ethnic villages in the Central Highlands come alive with joyful celebration, bringing people together. Amid a warm, peaceful, and happy Christmas season, they celebrate the most important holiday of the year as a way to demonstrate the strong solidarity of all ethnic communities.
Google recently announced its top search trends for 2024. In the tourism category, Vĩnh Hy tourism emerged as the most searched domestic destination. Vĩnh Hy Bay lies along the coast of Vĩnh Hải Commune in Ninh Hải District, Ninh Thuận Province, about 40 kilometers northeast of Phan Rang Tháp Cham city center. Visitors to this destination can immerse themselves in its peaceful, poetic scenery. Through well-coordinated tourism initiatives, Ninh Hải District attracted over 2.7 million visitors in 2024, including more than 44,000 international tourists. These visits generated an estimated tourism revenue exceeding $70 million. Vietnam has won numerous international tourism awards in recent years, cementing its status as a top travel destination in the region and a bright spot on the global tourism map. To showcase Vietnam's tourism globally, localities have worked to preserve and promote their local culture while diversifying their tourism products to attract more international visitors. A report from Hội An, Quảng Nam Province.
At the 2024 World Travel Awards, known as the Oscars of the travel industry, Vietnam earned the title of Asia's leading destination, along with Asia's top heritage destination and Asia's leading nature destination. Several Vietnamese cities, including Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, Hoi An, and Hà Nam Province, received nominations across various categories. These achievements solidify Vietnam's standing as an attractive destination on the world tourism map. Prestigious tourism awards also recognize many Vietnamese tourism businesses for their outstanding products and services. Their contributions enhance Vietnam's position in the global tourism industry, while inspiring other domestic businesses to think outside the box.
We aim to develop green and sustainable tourism to enhance our competitiveness in the tourism industry. Additionally, developing tourism based on cultural and natural heritage resources will benefit the local community by creating more jobs and boosting the local economy through visitor spending.
Domestic tourism businesses should diversify their products and gain a better understanding of visitors' demand through research. Based on the characteristics of each region, localities should implement marketing strategies to enhance their competitiveness and attract more tourists.
After all, what makes tourists return is the level of professionalism in the tourism and hospitality industries, combined with strategies that enhance their experience.
Coming up next in our world news, South Korea to proceed with impeachment trial. And China passes revised anti-money laundering law. The South Korean Constitutional Court has ruled that President Yoon Suk-yeol has been legally served with impeachment trial documents despite his refusal to accept them. The court spokesperson announced at a press briefing in Seoul on Monday that documents were served by mail according to Criminal Procedure Act and Civil Procedure Act provisions. A preparatory pleading is scheduled for Friday. This process involves preparing arguments and evidence in advance and addressing redundant issues to ensure the hearing is quick and efficient. President Yoon Suk-yeol was suspended from official duties on December the 14th when the National Assembly voted to impeach him over his December the 3rd martial law declaration. China has revised its anti-money laundering law, with the amendments taking effect on January the 1st, aimed at bolstering the legal framework against illegal activities such as money laundering and terrorist financing. The updated legislation expands the definition of money laundering and specifies its coverage of non-financial institutions in sectors such as real estate, accounting, and law. It requires that these institutions monitor risk stemming from new technologies and products such as cryptocurrencies and virtual assets, which are increasingly being used to launder money. For the first time, the law makes anti-money laundering a national security issue and extends jurisdiction to anti-money laundering related offenses outside of China. In addition, the revised law requires institutions to beef up due diligence on customers. They will have to not only verify the identity of their customers, but also monitor customers throughout their business relationship and maintain transaction records for at least 10 years. French Prime Minister François Bayrou officially announced his new cabinet more than 2 weeks after he was appointed Prime Minister by French President Emmanuel Macron. The new cabinet is made up of 34 members, including leading figures and former ministers, mostly conservative and centrist politicians who are deemed capable enough to avoid a potential no-confidence vote. The new cabinet's priorities include tackling the country's debts, migration issues, and crime rates. Following the announcement, Prime Minister Bayrou expressed pride in his newly formed cabinet, describing it as an experienced group committed to rebuilding trust with all French citizens. Ahead of Christmas, Denmark's capital of Copenhagen glitters brightly with lights and decorations, bringing light and joy to locals and visitors alike.
Millions of festive lights adorn the Danish city's Christmas markets, trees, storefronts, and even boats in the harbour. In the markets, specialities such as burned almonds, mulled wine, and sausages can be bought. The Christmas tree in the City Hall Square was erected on December 1st, a tradition that dates back more than 100 years. Meanwhile, kayaks were decked with Christmas lights lit up central Copenhagen as they moved along the city's canals to celebrate St. Lucia, the traditional bearer of lights.
This is a very special event because I think it's a one-of-a-kind event we have here in Copenhagen, because it's a very beautiful sight to see 400 kayaks dressed in lights and with the choir singing beautiful songs all the way around. And it just gives such a fantastic atmosphere, and all the spectators watching it, they're kind of drawn into the experience and are singing along. And so what it is in the end, it's for people to experience something magic and hopefully spread a lot of love.
I think just the whole atmosphere is very cozy and also very magical in a way. Just all the lights reflecting in the water and in I don't know what these are called, but like the different sparklings everywhere, and yeah.
The procession of lights at one of the darkest times of the year in Scandinavia originated in Sweden at the end of the 19th century. It was later adapted by their neighbours in Denmark.
Let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.